Hey, let's talk about aiming a little bit more. So, last video I covered what it looks like to just like really scan legs and keep a good beat on them. Here we're going to talk about the mechanics of aiming. Um, so let's, uh, recently, DJ actually mentioned, uh, acceleration or deceleration. So acceleration is detected, first of all, when you move your mouse in the heads-up display, like this. If I have acceleration, moving the mouse quickly, and then will move the mouse to a different location than if I do it slowly. So, see how I move quickly to the right and then slowly to the left? Every time I move my mouse back to the left side of the screen, my physical mouse and my hand are in the exact same coordinates because I'm on a high-spec gaming mouse with a very high-spec gaming pad. So you can see here, this demonstrates that I do not have acceleration. It becomes very obvious. Like if I had acceleration, I'd see this stuff going on, and that's unfortunate. I'm good to go. But let's look at the mechanics in the game. What do we see? So what's going on here is the torso can only turn so fast. I'll unlock the arms really quickly, and you'll see you'll see a difference. Anyway, what's going on is the torso can only move so fast. So when I move the cursor all the way to the left, it kind of stops me before I get too far. There's an optimal zone when you move your cursor like, I'm pointing on the screen, but you see that reload bar? The one right next to the reticle to the left, the one below that, I think is it 2? It's probably 2. So let's do it. Yeah. So see reticle 2, when I get my mouse like just before there, that's the max amount of turning that I can do in my mouse. It makes no sense to push your mouse even harder. You know, I can flip I'm lifting my mouse off the pad right now to get over there. Makes no sense to do that. You just got to respect that that's the boundary. Keep the mouse there and you're at max torso turn rate, and you're fine. That's max. That's max. Notice I'm not picking up my mouse off the pad or anything. That is really important to be aware of. Is like, don't force it faster than it can go. It's almost like you got to be careful not to break the buttons in your Xbox controller, right? Or more realistically, your Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller. Those buttons go quick. So similarly, and when you're using those things, you want to have a little bit of caution. Yeah, you're totally excited. You want to get Pikachu's lightning attack on that one dude or whatever, but you gotta take it easy. Similarly, know the threshold here, and just be calm about your turns. You'll be fine. There's another aspect going on. So that's part of why you see like mouse deceleration. It's that respect. Let's talk about another subtlety. We're changing chapters a little bit. If you want to target that thing, and I didn't really pick that good of a mech, with a slower torso turning mech, basically here, if I'm unlocked, I can point this cursor thing right at where I want the torso aimers to go as well. That's kind of nice. I don't play unlocked, obviously, but that's cool. But if your torso doesn't move so quick, what you wind up doing is you have to move your little cursor to the extent, remember that that just before there, you want to move it there so your turning rate, your torso turning rate is maxed out so you can get to that point as quickly as possible. So oftentimes you'll see people do a jig with their chassis, and sometimes you might be like, what is he doing, right? That's what he's doing. He's trying to reach maximum torso turning to get his cursor right up to the point by overshooting it and then pulling it back. I don't play that way because it's like, it splits up my aim, and often I don't even have anything on my arms. I have 2 mechs without arm things. But even if I did, I'd be very careful not to increase damage spread by like I can't really demonstrate it here, but to have my arms shooting in a slightly different spot than my torso, that gets me into trouble. So I talked about that. I should really switch mechs to talk about it more carefully, but in the back of my mind, I know that if I really want to get to a target fast, I have to go past it and then pull my cursor back just a little bit. And this is a training exercise right here that I do solo at the beginning of every game. I move up and I target that, I target that, I target that, and I target that. And if you can get that down, every time you start HPG, it's like a huge learning experience. You could totally wipe in the game, and you just have the derpiest of derps on the team. But it turns out you'll have honed your experience ever so slightly by doing some of this target practice. Anyway, that's a good spot to call it. Let me switch over to a slower turning mech, because I swear I've got one where I really have to do this. But nothing to come into mind, so I'm going to call it here. Maybe the Executioner? Let's give that a shot. Maybe the Kodiak? I don't know. We'll give it a try. Why not? Another thing, when you're honing your skills at the beginning of a match, it doesn't matter what map you are. I like to trace the back plates of some of my enemies. I like to watch how their mech bobs over the terrain, and sometimes I play with my gauze. I stopped doing that after this one time. Horrible incident. I still feel real bad, but anyway, something to consider. Yeah, this is a mech that you do it with. So, like, if you want to get there as quick as possible to the center thing, you wind up really jamming your mouse to the upper corner. You don't aim directly for it and do one of those slow things, because there's inherent acceleration in this game. Or as DJ put it, deceleration. So what you do is you're like, oh, I'm going to overshoot it and then pull it back. Because, like, it's really quick to play, but, like, once I've got those targeting retinal things, the 3 on the left, 3 on the right, here, I'll light them up in red. There you go. Once you've got them around your target, pretty much, like in this range here, that's when you're good to start fine-tuning. But when you're outside of that range, you don't want fine-tuning. You got to get things as quick as possible. There we go. Yeah, I think that's the best way to aim. There might be others. I'm going to disengage my arm lock and real quickly show you, like here's what I mean. Like, I'll try and trace this guy's legs. I'm like, oh, I got him. Oh, shit, you know? That's like the story of anytime I turn off arm lock, it's like, oh, great. My arms are also smaller, too. So that was kind of cool. Notice that I bobbed up and down there. Because that's better than doing this, right? And you have to have some movement to kind of fine control whatever. So when you're aiming is what I'm trying to say is, like, you really want to, how do I say this? It's a constant fine-tuning adjustment, and it's a struggle, and it's tough. So, like, I sometimes will do, like, notice how my cursor is moving quite a bit there. Sometimes I do a lot of that to get, just to, like, balance things out. I don't know if that makes any sense. I've begun rambling. I don't know. I'm going to turn this off. But that's the gist of it. Come on, pop. Ah. There we go. See how he likes having no arms. All right, GG, good luck. Hope you can figure out better ways to practice your aim. Oh man, this is tricky. By like maybe tossing back and forth between targets, such as these. And notice that each mech, like when you change the engine on a mech you've like totally mastered, suddenly aiming is different there. This game is really hard to get into that extreme elite gaming zone that you can easily get into with Counter-Strike or Left 4 Dead. Alright, peace out.